What are your plans in Washington to help reduce government spending?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fire Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. And we need to have a balanced budget amendment. That is extremely important because, see, right now there's no priorities, but there's no spending priorities set in the House. I mean, they can basically continue to spend. There's no caps. We got to enact a hard cap. It'd be great to go back to the 2008 pre-spending levels. Allow revenues to continue to grow, pay down our debt, and get China out of our business. So it's really, but what it's going to determine our success is we got to get our economy going again. We got to cut our spending. We got to reduce our spending, freeze it, whatever you want to call it. Return back to prior 2008 levels, pre-stimulus. But we need to start creating jobs in America again. That's really important.
Okay, and what are you going to do specifically to help create jobs in Mississippi as far as, higher paying jobs, more jobs, bigger industry?
Well, the job creation is a team sport. You got to work with your senators. You got to work with your other House members. You got to work with your industries. Mississippi, we have a healthy business climate. Our nation has a bad business climate. So what we need to do is go up there and make sure we don't set up deterrents to businesses coming to America, coming to Mississippi, because we're attracting businesses in Mississippi. We got to keep them here, and we got to bring some that we've lost back. And you do that through less taxes, less regulation, less litigation, and more freedom.
Okay, currently the standards of education in Mississippi are lower than the rest of the nation. What do you plan on doing in Washington to raise the standards of education here?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, I don't think the federal government should be in the business of educating our children here in the state of Mississippi. It should be a state issue, and it should also be pushed to the local school board level, parents and teachers. I think you get it down to that level, our standards will increase tremendously, and we won't be teaching our kids to take a test, but we'll actually be teaching them the skills they need to succeed in life.
Okay, and now I want to talk a little bit about energy and, well, first of all, dependency on foreign oil. What are your thoughts and plans to decrease U.S. dependency on foreign oil?
Well, we have the natural resources. We have the fossil fuel sources here in America. We have the technology to drill for natural gas, for crude oil. We have those resources here. It's just we have to go after them. We have to basically make sure it's safe, clean technology, but we can't keep dependent upon our enemies such as Venezuela, our future enemies, Venezuela and the Middle Eastern countries that basically have been able to control the prices of oil, and they can also control the supply. If we ever need it, they could actually bring us to our knees. And as long as other countries are competing for those same limited oil resources abroad, it puts us in a precarious situation. So as a national defense issue, we should be drilling here at home, offshore, and in our areas that have been previously off limits.
Okay, with this recent oil spill and everything, what are some things that you would think about doing in order to make it clean offshore drilling so that this doesn't happen again?
Well, I look forward to being up there. There's going to be a lot of hearings for years to come, and I'm going to be extremely involved in it, because one thing that was kind of not neat, but unique to the Gulf Coast is the industries that it hit the hardest was, of course, tourism, our fisheries, our charter boat captains, and our recreational anglers. They are also the ones that were absolutely opposed to the moratorium that was set by the president in a hasty fashion. It was basically a reckless decision that has cost us thousands of jobs here in South Mississippi. We may never get these jobs back. We hold BP accountable for the claims that they are going to pay, no matter how long or how much it costs. We're going to hold them accountable. But two, we got to come up with the safety precautions to make sure something like this does not happen again. We always put safety ahead of profit, and I just think some people, again, until it comes out, we won't know what happened, but there's ways to prevent it from happening in the future. And I think having a few more checks and balances, but also making the federal government accountable. The regulatory agency that was overseeing these structures and this equipment were basically asleep at the wheel, and that's Congress's fault as well, because they have congressional oversight, and it's their fault for allowing these federal agencies to become lax.
Okay, and what is your take on alternative energy, like moving away from?
Listen, I think it's great, but right now you got to understand our oil and gas industry employs over 40,000 people, from plastics to everything that creates this economy, keeps our economy churning, from national defense to just our consumer products that we depend on every day in our homes, depend upon the fossil fuels that we pull out of the ground. We do need an all the above energy policy, and I think over the next 2 years you will see some creative solutions. One, support the industry that we have, but at the same time incentivize people to explore true alternatives that are not subsidized by the government.